and welcome to the Nature Codes podcast. I'm Amira Daly, an energy healer and mentor. I deliver inspirational tips and shares on how to welcome nature into your life to inspire transformation. I will share with you guidance, tips, and interviews to nurture that special bond between you, the universe, and nature. Hi everyone, great to be here with you. Very happy to be chatting today. I'm feeling the good vibes and excited for this podcast because this is something that I'm quite excited about at the moment. It is something I have been wanting to start and become better at and practice myself. And so recently I've been doing a course to try and connect more to my psychic abilities, but also increase my confidence in my abilities so that I can start branching out a bit more into things like animal communication. Animal communication for me has always been a passion of mine, even in studying animal behaviour at uni and just trying to understand how different behaviours are connected to us as well. So what are the things that animals do that we share, that we do as well, like play, nurturing calves and young, joy, interacting with each other, looking for partners, and just lots of different behaviours, including also things like more complex behaviours like self-medication and communication between dolphins or communication between chimpanzees, understanding how animals see themselves. So we have elephants looking in mirrors. So the higher animals like elephants and apes, they understand that when they're looking in the mirror, they're looking at themselves, which is a very high trait that not many animals have the ability to do. So I've always been interested in the behaviour of animals. I did a documentary actually for the BBC, for the Natural World, called Chimp Cam, which was a documentary looking into the ability of chimpanzees to film themselves and to take photos. So it was based at Edinburgh Zoo, and they were given cameras so that they could use those cameras themselves, and that was always very fun and funny and just proved how much chimpanzees are like ourselves and how much of a sense of humour they have as well. So I quite like that connection with animals, that understanding of their emotions. And that is what I like to connect to when I do my body and emotion code. So through the body and emotion code, I can actually see the emotions that are coming up in the animal. And not to my surprise, but maybe to many people's surprise, animals have exactly the same emotions as humans. So I am constantly getting vulnerability, grief, stubbornness. There's probably over 40 emotions that I look at, and the majority of them I can see coming up in animals exactly the same way as humans. The only difference is that I feel like when I do heal animals, there's less layers. So they have the exact same host of emotions, but for some reason it feels like there's less layers, whereas humans are more multi-layered. So it's actually harder to get to the source of an issue in a human compared to an animal. Don't get me wrong, animals are multi-layered too. It's just I feel like humans have so much more to them than animals do in that respect, but they still have exactly the same emotions. maybe the difference could be that animals are able to let go of their emotions much easier, and so they don't have this build up. Maybe that is the reason, because they're more grounding on the earth and they are able to just use movement and vocalization, and they're not restricted in that way like humans are, and so they're able to let go of their emotions easier, and so there's not this build up that you get in humans. Maybe that's the case. Who knows? This is another question that I ask myself when I'm doing these sessions, because it's just so interesting to really understand how an animal is the same but also different from us. And so it's this interest that I carry through into my business, and I've always been fascinated with how some humans seem to be better at communicating with animals than others, and I think there is that deep intuition that you need to have, and I think every human has that intuition, but it's whether you've connected to it or not. And so through my course, I'm really trying to learn how to communicate on a deeper level, and I am doing a lot of meditation at the moment, grounding myself, unblocking my abilities so that I'm able to communicate and use my intuition to a greater degree. And I really feel like I am starting to connect on a deeper level. So I've started to connect to clients' animals and ask them questions and understand, let them communicate through me, whether I write that down or speak it or think it and then write it down. I'm just experimenting with different ways of communicating what I'm getting from the animal, and so far I've had really good results, which has been lovely. It's funny because when I'm communicating with an animal, and I communicate with humans as well through their spirit guides, so I've got a comparison on the different outcomes of the two. With humans, it is very deep. When I'm communicating with a human or spirit guide, it is very deep, very complex. Complex issues come up. Whereas when I'm communicating with an animal, it feels to me like I'm communicating with a small child. When I write what is coming through from the animal, it really does come across like my 5-year-old's writing it. And I find that so interesting because that is probably very true and reflective of how they are as animals compared to humans. They're not so deep, but what does come through a lot is the love that they share for their owners and the joy they have, or sometimes the anxiety. I connected to a cat who I had worked on through the body and emotion code, and she was connecting to me saying that she loved peace and quiet and she loved calm, and that's why she used to get anxiety. But I know that she's a lot better now because I unblocked her heart wall, so she is actually more sociable and a lot less anxious. But I really got the essence of her loving being in calm and relaxed spaces. And then when I connected to a horse, the joy, it was during the spring, and so they were just newly let out, and I just got this real sense of joy and love and connection to the outdoors and loving the grass and the fresh grass and just feeling excited, and like I was getting like new beginnings and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm just really excited to explore this more. This is something that I really want to start offering people, and I think I'm going to really have a look into how I incorporate that into my healing packages, because I am finding that in the majority of my clients, they get relief straight away. But there is that odd 5% where it's not getting the healing results that I would necessarily want. But with the addition of the animal communication, I can kind of understand why now it's not, because the animal's communicating to me the reasons for that. And I just also think it helps the human, the client, understand certain things that maybe they wouldn't understand prior to that. So some behaviours that they might be doing, like I had a cat who was not wanting to poo in its litter tray, and she would go to the litter tray sometimes but not others. And the cat actually communicated to me that the reason why she was doing this was because she wanted to communicate the fact that she wanted to be outside. And at the time they were in the middle of the city, and the owners were a bit nervous of letting the cat out, but the cat really wanted to be outside more and feel connected to nature. And so the only way that animal could communicate to their owners was showing this behaviour. So yeah, it's just really interesting how sometimes behaviour is actually a communication to the human that they're in need of something, or there's something missing in their life that they want to communicate, and let that human understand. And so I just find the combination of the body and emotion code with the addition of the communication aspect really exciting, and it can really help connect the client with their animal as well, because once they start to understand behaviours or understand the animal's emotions a bit more, there's a real growth that can come between them, and the animal can work with the human to develop the human's intuitive abilities as well, because sometimes the stuff that I'm picking up from the animal, the owner has already realised. So for instance, there was a cat that communicated with me that she wanted more fish, fresh food, especially fish. And so I told the owner, and the owner messaged me back saying, that is so funny, because I literally just picked up a can of sardines for my cat. And so I was like, well, that is just proof that you are picking up your animal's communication, but you just don't realise that you're connected to your animal so much that you've realised that they're trying to tell you that. And so you've gone and done that for your animal. And so it really helps to gain people's confidence in connecting with their own animal and knowing that they are connected and that they are picking up signals from that animal. And I think nurturing that communication and nurturing that bond is really special and something that is really powerful. And if you're able to do that, you're able to transform your animal's life, because they know what you're feeling and they can understand your emotions. And I think sometimes the missing piece is the owner being able to understand the animal's emotions and the animal's wants and wishes and hopes. And so I think the combination of the two is so powerful. Animals intuitively understand human emotions. They like to comfort you when you're feeling sad. They can sense your sadness. They can sense your anxiety. So a lot of animals, especially cats, like to sit on someone's chest area when the human is feeling anxious or sad in some way, and that is to connect to their heart and comfort them, provide comfort. Animals are so connected. I mean, animals can also pick up on health issues and might go to that area of the person and connect with that area to try and improve that person's health. Animals are extremely intuitive. And we are animals, we are intuitive, we pick up on this energy. It's just we really need to nurture that more, because animals are naturally nurturing of their intuitive abilities, because that's how they communicate. And we have the ability to do that too. And that development of intuition between owner and pet is amazing. And why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to develop your intuition for your animal? But then once that intuition has been developed between you and your animal, you're able to be intuitive in so many other aspects of your life, and you'll be able to pick up on so much that the universe is trying to tell you, and what other animals are trying to tell you, and what nature in general is trying to tell you. It opens so many doors. And so I think starting with an intuitive reading from an animal communication specialist will hopefully make you realise that you're able to connect on that level too, and give you the confidence to do that and the interest in doing that, because it is just so deep when I connect to an animal, I feel so peaceful, and it's just so relaxing. And yeah, I just feel like we should all be doing this, because the more we connect to nature and animals, the more we resolve our own issues and feel at peace, feel connected to the love and nurturing of the universe as a whole. So yeah, that is kind of what I wanted to say about that. And by the time this episode comes out, hopefully I will have firmed up my offering for this service, and you can check out my website, www.theanimalcodes.com. So have a look on there, and hopefully I will have an offering that you might want for you and your animal, or just for you, because I offer services just for people as well. And I'm going to be looking into connecting to spirit guides, because I've already started doing that for people. So have a look at that as well. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for your reviews and your subscriptions to my podcast. I'm so grateful for that. And I'm going to start in the next few episodes after this reading out reviews that I get and names, and so that I feel like I'm connecting more with the people that are listening to my podcast, because I think that fosters a better connection. So thank you so much, and it really does help if you can give me your 5-star review and give me a review of some kind, because it improves my rating, and then it pushes me up on the list so that more people can get to my podcast, and so that it will help people and their animals. And that's what I'm here for at the end of the day. So yeah, thank you for your time. I hope you have a lovely day. Sending lots of love. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please subscribe to the Nature Codes podcast so you never miss an episode. If you enjoy what I'm sharing, please rate and leave a review so that other nature lovers can find me too. And lastly, follow me on Instagram at The Nature Codes for more inspiring free content, as well as access to all of my programs.